Hey y'all, it's Taryn. It is Sunday, December 6th. Welcome. I hope y'all have had a good few weeks, 3 weeks, I think. Um, it's been kind of busy around here, but that's really no excuse. So, anyway, I hope if you're in the U.S. and you celebrated that you had a great Thanksgiving. We did not have anybody here except for those of us who are usually here. Abigail was home. Really, that was it. Her parents didn't come, and not because of the Rona. My dad and Dax's dad both had procedures done on Tuesday, and we were going to go there, but since both of them were having procedures done, we decided that they didn't need the extra stress. Our moms didn't need the stress of worrying about them and having people coming to the house too. So we just did Thanksgiving here. To be perfectly honest, that was the easiest time I've had, the least stressful time, and the easiest it's been getting all the food prepared. I had everything ready and waiting to go into the oven by like 10 o'clock in the morning. It was ridiculous. But we did enjoy it. Put up I bought a new Christmas tree on a whim. Dax has been complaining about the old one for years. I don't know why, it's only like 20 years old, but I bought a new one. I was in Home Depot for something completely different, but it was a good price, and it's like a 9-foot tree. So we decorated that, put it up, and the kids decorated it because that's their job. So, other than that, I think things have been, just working. Yeah, I guess that's really it. My last video, I'm surprised that I'm even willing to try to post another one after the last one. I tried to update my Target app, and my phone kept hanging up on the install. So I tried to move some things over to the SIM card, because our phones are old enough that they still have that external memory. So I tried to move over to that, a couple of programs that say they'll move, but they got stuck at 10%. And once you start trying to move it, you can't tell it to quit. Even when you do, it still keeps trying. I started trying to upload the video and it would get stuck. And today, maybe yesterday or today, is the first time that my phone finally quit saying that it's canceling that video. It hasn't been on YouTube for 3 weeks because it canceled it there right away, but it's been stuck in my phone saying it's canceling for the last 3 weeks, even after I took the battery out. It was a labor of love. That's all I'm going to say. I am not tech savvy. I was more frustrated than you can even believe. But this too shall pass. I survived. It's all good. What else? I don't know. My kids turned 22 on November 21st. I don't even know how that happens. I got up that morning and thought to myself, wow, 22 years ago, I woke up in a hospital bed, the same one I'd been waking up in for the previous 7 weeks. And I felt awful that day. I just didn't feel good. And it was a Saturday, just like this year. And Dax went to run errands. I think he really just went and made sure that our dogs had food and water and came back because he was not happy that I wasn't feeling well. Then my parents showed up, which was not unusual. They came like every other day. But then my brother and sister-in-law showed up, and every time people showed up, Dax got more frustrated because I didn't feel well. Then Dax's mom and stepdad and his little sister and her boyfriend showed up, and he was beside himself. But then they moved me up to labor and delivery to try to stop the contractions. I was allowed 5 an hour, and I had been going over that all day. They had me on, I was on a terbutaline pump. I think that's what it is, which is generally used for asthma, but it's a smooth muscle relaxer, and the uterus is a smooth muscle. So I had been on that since before I'd been in the hospital. I was on that at home. They had me on magnesium for the same thing, to control the contractions, and then they gave me a big old shot of Demerol. Nothing was slowing it down. The on-call doctor came in to explain to us that they were just going to get it under control. We still had, that this would probably happen more than once. And then she went and, scrubbed up and came back and did an exam and was like, these babies are coming. I was too far into labor to stop it. I was already dilated to like 8, I think, which I'm not sure how that all works because my cervix was stitched closed when I was like 9 weeks along. They stitched my cervix closed. But anyway, my doctor actually came in. I felt horrible. It was at night. She was out having dinner with her family, and she left to come in because she wanted to deliver my babies, which I was grateful for. But I felt bad that her time with her family got interrupted. But by the time we knew that they were coming, we lived an hour away from the hospital with no traffic in the city of Houston. So how often does no traffic happen? Our families would not have been able to get there, to be there in time. By the time they decided that it was happening, they were here probably 45 minutes later. Addison was born at 9:30 p.m. Wyatt and Abigail were born at 9:31. They were born at the same time. That is how big my C-section scar is. They actually absolutely popped out at the same time. Even now it goes from pelvic bone to pelvic bone. My scar does. And then Kirsten was born at 9:32. So I still can't believe that that was my life, that this has been my life. It really sometimes feels like somebody else's. They were about 2.5 years old before I quit feeling like I woke up in a dream. But it's no dream. They live here. I'm older because of it. Like, I got the Christmas mugs down from the top shelf. So, anyway, the kids turned 22. You probably don't want to hear the story of their birth, but there you go. You got it anyway. I did actually do some stitching, so there you go. This morning, I worked a hot little minute on that. Since January 2nd, I have not missed a day of stitching. Some days I may have only put in 5 stitches, but I have stitched every day. And so this morning I got so much to do today, but I didn't want to get too busy and not stitch. Early this evening, Dax and I leave to go to Las Vegas for 11 days. We booked our tickets, we booked our hotel, then they enacted more restrictions. We're just playing it by ear. They canceled our conference that we usually go to. But I want to get away and relax. So I don't actually, I said, you know what? If we have to sit in our room and order room service, that will be relaxing for me. We have a dog with dementia that makes life a challenge. On our slippery concrete floors, he has trouble getting up, so we have to help him get up. He does not always know that he has to go to the bathroom, so sometimes when we get him up and he's walking out, he starts going to the bathroom. So I mop my floor like every day. Sometimes, especially on the weekends or if it's bad weather, where he's in the house even more. He loves to be outside, but all of our dogs are probably 12 or 13 years old. They're all adopted. And they're all large dogs, so we are at the end years for all of them. And he's gotten to where he's having more trouble keeping weight on, even though he eats and drinks fine. His allergy issues, we have to give him allergy medicine all the time, 3 times a day. But if it's very cool outside, we keep him in the house because he isn't keeping a lot of meat on his bones. So sometimes I have to mop 3 times a day, and that's not even counting the dog that had the stroke and can't walk, and cleaning up after her. I need 11 days away. 11 days not at the office, 11 days not having to deal with that on top of everything else. I'm ready, even if it means I have to sit in my room and order room service. I won't have to do those other things. But now that you've heard more stuff that you probably don't want to know, here's how far I've gotten. This is what I did today, Ari. It was just one, the length of floss, and it was even a shorter length than I usually use. It was just on the card already. But that's what I got done today, this morning. I worked a little bit on Christmas Gentleman. This is on my list of 20 and 20 that, here you go, it's not happening. I've filled in some more on the borders, the top and the bottom here. It's getting close to the edge of the hoop. And then I've started on the one Santa Claus. There's more stitching, like down here. There's stitching. It's kind of hard to see. But maybe it'll get done in 2021, because I've already made out my list for 2021, and I'm still sticking with 20. I'm not going to 21. That just, nope. I didn't manage the 20 hardly, so. I worked on my Disney Heroes, I think they call that one. And there's the whole thing. I did Alice this time. She really looks kind of out there, like I missed something right in here. But if you see, it comes in to do the Disney, she's right here. And so I have not done all those little white fill-in things. Some of those we'll have to see how they go, because I'm so horribly close on my edges. I scrunch some of the stuff to try to make sure it'll all fit. And so I'm going to have to go back and kind of see how those go. See which little designs will fit and what I can make work and all of that. So I decided to put those off until the very end. I worked on this one. I had such a hard time because I was working on it in the living room instead of out here. And with that yellow light in there, some of the colors looked alike, but getting out here, I was finally able to fix it. I had to pull some stuff out and then put it back in, like up here at the bunny's ears and stuff. But this time around, I got the ears for the second time, and then came down and got some of this done. I am not doing all of this, the words and the background stuff. I'm just going to do the bunny and finish it off, probably like a little pen pillow or something for spring. And we all know that that'll take me about, I don't know, 3 to 5 years to get that part done, even after it's finished. I worked on my dimensions, mason jars. I think pretty much everybody in the world has finished that one that ever started it except for me. But that's okay. I've got this jar, a little piece of it comes over onto the next page, and I decided I'll just wait. And then I finished up, all of this down here is done, and then I started on the little flowers, yellow flowers up at the top. I believe there are like more flowers that come over on this way and stuff. I'll love it when it's done. We'll just have to see if we can ever get there. I worked on, this is Brooks Books. This was on my list. The mason jars was on my list. Christmas Gentleman. The Disney one might be, I don't know. It was a list of unaccomplishable goals, I guess. Anyway, I did kind of good for a while, and then I get bored. That's the problem. This time I finished up the little hat and put in an ear. Like, for a few weeks there, I was getting one of them done a week. And, you know, if I did that, I could actually get it finished in time. But then it's like, I did it really well for 4 or 5 weeks, and then it's like, I don't want to do it anymore. And I'm learning that if I don't want to do it, to let myself do something else, because otherwise, if I don't go do something else that I want to do, I just won't do anything. It's also very complicated. I worked on this one, Paisley Pumpkins. It is out of the 2017 Keepsake Calendar. And this is on just some fabric that I dyed orangey kind of color. And it's hard to see right now. It's pretty mottled up. I'm going to do, like you can see here, I'm going to fill in this pumpkin. This pumpkin is fully stitched. It is fully filled in. But I am not going to do that. I want the orange to show through. So I'll do the really dark stuff. I'll probably put in some of the gray shading down here. But when it gets into the lighter and whiter stitching, I'm not going to do it. And we'll see how I feel about the gray shading. That one's iffy. This one came up in my, because you know I spin, and I think mine's called, I know there's the Tiny Decisions app. I think mine's called Decision Roulette. But this one popped up. It's 12 Days of Texas Christmas in the Alamo by Redbird Designs. And I had stitched on it, I think only once before. And like got this part up here done or partially done. I made a mistake, I know that, because I had to pull some out and had to reverse stitch a little bit before I could continue on. But I finished it. So there you go. I'm pretty happy about that. Granted, not a ton of stitching, but a finish is a finish, and I will take it. And then the last thing I worked on, when I say last, the last thing I'm going to show you that I worked on, because goodness knows, I have no idea what order these were in. I guess I could look at my calendar, but out of this book, Country Cross Stitch Designs was this one, but I only did the balloon in between the trees here. That's all that I was doing, not the whole thing. And you better be sitting down. I finished it! Woohoo! So there we go. This was on my list of 20 and 20, and I got it finished. I think that gave me 5. Let me look and see. I have it written down. 6. I got 6 off my list of 20 and 20 done. You go, girl. It's the little victories. That's all I'm saying. But that gives me 28 finishes this year. I do not anticipate any more. But this one, I started working on the balloon, and I was kind of like, I think I could finish that. I really wanted to finish it in November. Don't ask me why. There's no logical reason for that. And I worked hard, but I actually finished it on December 1st. Because I didn't work hard enough, because I kind of just sat around and did nothing. But I shouldn't say did nothing. The Christmas decorations are up. I mean, I have a whole bunch more, but cats. And Ziva, the Rottweiler who's had the stroke, I put a Christmas pillow, in the rocking chair in the room that she's in. And she went and pulled the cushion off the rocking chair and the pillow and pulled them back over to where she was originally laying to lay on them. But she'll sit and whine if you're in the room, like she can't get to her food or water because she wants you to come give it to her. And it's like, no, you scooted yourself over there to get into stuff. You could do it to get the water, which I'm sure she does. Actually, I don't even have to say I'm sure she does when we're not there. I hear her sometimes in the middle of the night eating, which means she's gotten over to her food. But she is stubborn. I'm going to keep it nice. So that was all of the stitching that I did. I made another project bag. This one is from a table runner. Y'all, it is a mess. The table runner does not line up evenly. It is wavy, and you can see the back stick out here. Look at, and then, yeah, see, it wouldn't line up. It's a mess. Finally, I just sewed it, and it stuck out even more on this end than this already is. So I just cut it off. It's not all finished and pretty, but it's for me, and I don't care. So I guess that works, right? I'm not trying to sell it. I would never charge anybody for the mess that is. So anyway, that is one thing, I guess, to be wary of, is that sometimes they're wavy, even though you would think that they wouldn't be. But anyway, and then I made these. We put up, like I said, we bought a new tree and put up a regular tree. The same kind of decorations we always do. Most of them are things we've collected over the almost 30 years that Dax and I have been together, and ornaments that the kids have bought. through the years or been gifted and stuff like that. It's just a whole hodgepodge of ornaments that have sentimental value, mostly. And then I put a tree in our room. It's got white lights, and it's one that I bought last year at Big Lots that was on sale for like 90% off. I think I paid $13 for it. It might have even been less than that. I bought two. Somebody riddle me this. I can only find one of them. How am I missing a box with a Christmas tree in it? Even Kirsten has looked. It's like, what did we do with the other tree? I have not been up into the attic, but I don't know why I would have put it up there, because I've been trying to get everything out of the attic and onto shelves in the garage where I could get to it easier. But that doesn't mean I didn't do it. Anyway, it was pre-lit. It has white lights on it. And when I was a kid growing up, we had a really pretty angel on the top of our Christmas tree. Mostly she was made with white feathers, but she had a really pretty face, porcelain face. And so we haven't had an angel because I've been incredibly picky about how I want the angel to look. Our regular tree has an old world Santa that goes on top of it. Everyone else calls it an Eskimo, mostly to drive me crazy. But so I put this angel onto, I found an angel a few years ago, and I haven't put it out because I don't know why. Because the Eskimo was the tradition to go on the other tree. So when I tried to put the angel, they all complained. So I put her on the tree in our room with the white lights, and I put she's kind of her dress is kind of a deep red velvet. So I just put white lights. I didn't want the red to clash. So that's in our bedroom. And then we have a 4-poster bed that has the canopy bars. There's no canopy, but it has the bars. They're wrought iron bars that connect it all. And I wrapped lights around that. Dax is like, you don't think there's enough light in the room already? Nope. And then we took our old tree and put it in I don't know, is it a great room? Because I never know what to call it. We call it the blue couch room because it's part of the kitchen, dining room, and this area are all open. But it's in there. And I can decide what to put on it. And I found some ornaments about this big. It's, like I said, like 20 years old. So it has a bunch of, even when you fluff it, there are a bunch of empty spots. So at Dollar Tree, they had some ornaments that are about this big, that are wrapped in sweater material. It looks like red and white sweater. So I bought a kit at Michael's and Kirsten's been making ugly sweaters to hang on it. So it's going to be an ugly sweater themed tree. But I made these little hats. How stinking cute is that? I mean, seriously. I just grabbed some yarn that I had left over from where it's like, and not even stuff that's, I shouldn't say left over. Most of it is where I have yarn, because I'll, like at Goodwill, buy something that has just little, it might have just some of it where it's not enough to really do anything with, but you can do these. I mean, seriously. This is Christmas tree wrapping paper from the roll. You can use toilet paper roll. You just cut it off, you knot it around, and you push this up, put a little knot. You put a little, that's part of like a half a cotton ball in there to just kind of hold it open. They are so stinking cute. I'm serious. Okay, I think that is everything that I've done. I counted yesterday, I think yesterday, and it looks like I will be ending the year with 98 whips, unless by some wonderful fate I finish something else. But I can't believe I'm under 100, so I'm quite happy with that. 28 finishes this year. Granted, a lot of them are small, but a finish is a finish. And like this one, I started in 2017. So I'm thrilled. And I know that's not a giant piece, but it's on like a, I don't know, 18, maybe even a 22 count. So it's a lot of stitches, but I'm happy. I'm happy with it. I ended November, my Stitch from Stash budget, and I'm not doing it in the group. Mine's for the whole year, with a positive of $107.04. So that thrills me too. Okay. Sarah Lee at Jock's Girl asked me to explain how I pick what I'm going to work on. One thing that I do, and I know that a lot of people don't do this, but this works for me, and I don't care that I have duplicates. When I kit a project up, like this. So this is this one. Everything I need is here. I can grab this and a pair of scissors and I'm good to go. All of my floss is in here. All of my projects are kitted that way. Like I said, yeah, I've got duplicates. But when I'm done, I'll look and see before I put them up if I keep a list of projects that I've started kitting and the flosses that I need. See, like here's some things. I spent some time yesterday and this morning kitting up. And so here's some things that I have in the bags and I have with fabric, but these are the flosses that I'm missing. And what's marked off is when I finish something up, I will go through the floss that was in that and see if any of it will go in here before I put it away. So anyway, I do that because it makes it easier for me to just grab it and go. Just like, obviously I'm taking stuff with me to Vegas, and I didn't have to go through and pull threads today in order to take, I think I pulled like 3 or 4 projects, maybe 5, I don't know, because everything's already there. Anyway, more in line with Sarah Lee's question. I have a calendar. One of our programs at work, our scheduling program, will print off, I print off the calendar pages. I know a lot of people have Tiny Decision app, I think is the name of it, Tiny Decisions. On my phone, it is Decision Roulette is what it's called. And I was thinking about this when she asked, explaining it, and it makes perfect sense in my head and in my world. But when I say it out loud, it seems like, oh my God. I have multiple wheels, like probably 10 or 12 wheels in my app setup. And one of the reasons for so many of them is I have wheels for my whips. And I have my whips written down in here. If it's in yellow, I finished it. It's been completed. But each page is a separate wheel because it makes it easier for me to find things later on to go and take it off my wheel or whatever. But I start when I go to fill this out, and I've already done all of 2021 because I don't always feel like doing it, but sometimes I really do feel like spinning the wheel, and I might do 6 months of spins in that time when I feel like doing it. So basically what I do when I work on things, like see this has a pink line, I stitched but not on that. It's got a pink check, that's what I actually worked on. You can see that line is through Wyatt's stocking. Yeah, that happens a lot. Here, wait, I forgot to do yesterday's, which was also Wyatt's stocking. It got a line. But I have a wheel that's only got maybe 5, I don't know. But it's got stuff like a seasonal decoration, like a holiday decoration or whatever. That's the first wheel I spin. And it'll tell me to, out of my whips, if it's my year of whips, which is what I call like the 20 and 20, and what's going to be the 20 and 21, my year of whips, a new start, and that doesn't mean that I'm going to go start something new. That means that I alternate between what's still left from new starts of 2019, 2020, and then 2021 will be part of that alternating. But I do that because that lets me get back to some of the stuff that I've started and it keeps it mixed up. That's really the main reason I do all of this. So, and I think the kids' ornament, when I'm making ornaments for them, I think that that's on there too. So it's got like my whips, all of my whips, my year of whips, holiday decoration, what I say, the kids' Christmas ornaments, and new starts. I think those are the things that are on my main wheel. And so I go through and I write those down, and then I'll go spin those respective wheels. When I say like all my whips, I start with the first one. There's a slot in there that tells me I can go on to the next wheel, so that I don't always just get stuck working on those few projects that are in that. Mostly it's my 20 and 20 projects. But sometimes I get to go move to something different. It'll tell me I get to go spin the next wheel. And really that's basically what it is. Oh, Mania. Mania's on there too, where I can spin, and I have a wheel for what I have outstanding still from Mania. But I do all of that, and I have all those wheels because, honestly, it keeps me from getting bored. And I have accepted the fact that in getting to know myself, that I will not, just like on here where I have Wyatt's stocking where I didn't stitch. If I told myself you have to stick to this, I wouldn't stitch that day. And so I finally figured out that I'm the only one making the rules on how I'm doing this, so I might as well do something that will encourage me to continue to stitch. So like with Wyatt's stocking, on December 1st, I didn't stitch on it because I knew I was about to finish this. I mean, I had this back stitching down here. Only part of it, actually. I think I had just this one side left to finish. And so I've given myself the freedom to do that. But I'm sure it sounds ridiculous, but it works for me. And if I had to try to trudge through all of my whips actually I have too many to fit all onto one wheel, because I think mine will only take 50. I don't know. It might give me more variety, but I feel like I'm getting a lot of variety now. I feel like the one with the holiday decorations helps me push some of those ahead where maybe they wouldn't be otherwise if I was just going by what my whips are. That's why I've kind of got it in categories. And I keep all of my whips in my boxes, plural, 3 I think I have now, in this order, so that it makes it easier for me to find them. When, just like all of this stuff, when I put it up after I finish, I'll go by what is in this book and put it back in that order so that when it comes up on a wheel, it's easy to find. But anyway, that's how I do it. Sarah Lee, if that is clear as mud, let me know and I'll try to do better. Same goes for the rest of you too, but she was the one that was interested. I don't know. I may or may not video while we are in Vegas. We haven't even decided. We are absolutely playing it by ear. The flight and the hotel were so cheap. We decided that we needed to get away. And September was our 25th anniversary, and we got married at the MGM in Las Vegas. So we decided that would really be the right place to go stay. That's where our room is. I booked now I can't think of what they call them. They have rooms now that they have aromatherapy stuff in them. I think they are modeled, decorated, put together in a feng shui kind of way. The shower has aromatherapy in it. The alarm clock is one of those that does the sunrise. I'm kind of looking forward to it. But we have looked into it. When we got married, we rented a car and drove home. We spent a week driving home. And if we've decided if we get out there and we hate it, as cheap as the room was, we'll just rent a car and spend a week driving home or whatever. But I don't know, we're pretty easygoing. So, like I said, just getting away from the stuff that I have to do every day that's no fun, I can live with that. I can live with that. Even if it means sitting in our room and ordering room service. But if Dax gets too bored and we really find that we're not having a good time, we're going to get in the car and go. So we have talked about we may rent a car and drive down to Tombstone. We went there on our honeymoon, on our drive home. I keep telling Dax that I'm like the only woman in the world who's been to Tombstone, Arizona on their honeymoon. I don't know. But anyway, depending on what I get done, I may do a video from there. I don't know. We've been watching these people who videotape themselves while they're gambling, and thousands of people watch them. It's crazy. And pay them to watch them. I don't know. But hey, we've been watching them. I'm trying to get into the mindset of winning big. I've also been watching. I know this, even while I'm watching it, I'm like, what is wrong with me? I've lost my mind. They have these videos out there. Y'all are going to think I'm so stupid. Where they're like cleaning carpets. And I don't mean like in the house. They're not carpets, rugs. Maybe magic carpets. I don't know. But like Persian rugs and stuff. And one thing that blows my mind is how much they saturate it with water. But it is so weirdly satisfying to watch them clean that rug. They get it wet, and then they shampoo, and then they get it wet again, and then they like squeegee it, and to watch push all that dirt out, it's just oddly satisfying. Although I was sitting there going, I wonder if I could rip up the carpet in my bedroom and take it out in the driveway and do that. I don't think Dax would go for that. But it would be oddly satisfying. I know that now. But anyway, so if I'll watch that, I shouldn't talk about anybody watching people that gamble. But I don't know. If you see me live, maybe it'll be us gambling. Although these people, they're like, the one guy the other day was $1,000 a hand. That's what he was spending. That would make me want to vomit. I can tell you that right there. I don't think I could even get drunk enough to do $1,000 a hand. That's crazy. But then he won $100,000. So, and I think he came out somewhere in the neighborhood of $95,000 ahead. So it wasn't like he spent $100,000 and then won it back or was losing. But yeah, I guess you got to play big if you want to win big. I don't know. Okay, I have been rambling long enough. Y'all are probably bored to tears. For that, I'm sorry. I have to actually go still finish laundry, and then we have to pack because we have not packed one single thing. So anyway, I hope y'all have had a great week. Welcome new subscribers. Thank you everyone who sticks around and continues to come